Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. Are you a reseller? You're thinking about getting into reselling? Have you gone to like yard sales and garage sales and estate sales and had difficulty trying to negotiate the price to get the best price for you so you could resell it at a decent profit? Well, our guest is the expert. He and his wife are experts at negotiating prices and getting the best price possible. He's been absent from social media for a little over a year. We'll get into that. He's OG of YouTube reselling. One of the first channels I followed, along with his buddy Pete Craigslist Hunter. So we'll get into that. So my guest today is Chad Golden Finger Picker. So I see the chat's filling in. So give me about 30 seconds, guys. We'll pop right into it. I'll say hello to some people in the chat, and I'll type in the chat because I want to get the party started, so to speak. So Sharon, thank you for being here. So I'm sure people start filling in. There's like about 7 people in the chat so far. So let's get started. And I'm sure the 30-minute notice went out, and then the live stream notice went out. So let me just go over and we'll bring our guest on and say hello to him. Hello, Mr. Chad, the Golden Finger Picker.
What is going on?
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. Good to see everybody in the chat. How's it going?
Going well. Like I said, Chad's going to do a little introduction to probably the one person in the whole chat that doesn't know who he is.
Hey, there's always somebody out there, but no, I'm Chad. Got my wife, or my business partner, Kimberly, my wife. When it comes to reselling, we're a team, and we do everything together. We originally are from Indiana, and about 7 years ago we came. Oh, by the way, in Indiana, we love going to auctions, and we rarely stepped into a thrift store because there's just so much up there, and that's the old money from the United States is up in the Midwest and the upper Northeast. So but yeah, we did that for years and years, and then we decided to move to Florida. Let's get as close as we can to the water and just start doing what we do down there. Up here, we get down here, it wasn't that easy because everything is just so different. There isn't as much stuff, and so we jumped into clothing to bridge that gap, and so we can get our legs underneath us, and that happened. And we still do clothing, good stuff, but yeah, it's two totally different worlds, and up north and down south, but you just adapt to it, and things are great. We're right next to a military base, and we live if you got a really good arm, you can hit the water with a baseball. So yeah, we just love it. We love it.
How long have you been down there for? I was trying to think about that. I was trying to remember how long you've been down there now.
It's been about 7 years.
Okay, so your kids were already grown when you moved down there.
Oh yeah, we waited for our youngest to graduate high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then within a month we were gone. And they came down with us. Well, he was in college, but he stayed a semester. And
yeah, I watched your last video. Well, next video we talked about
that. Sucks. This real life stuff sucks. Hey, come down there. So he came down here and enrolled down here. So yeah,
I was on the show Monday. Yeah, Monday, and basically she just asked questions. Would you or wouldn't you? And and then you would or answer a question. And one of the things was, what was the most difficult thing about being an adult? I said, I didn't realize there was so much work involved. I mean, taking care of the house and doing laundry. And I said, I had a mother that did all that for me before I moved out.
Well, I squandered away in high school. I was supposed to be saving for college.
Right.
And I squandered it. I was working at a restaurant, having a good time, and I graduated, and my parents didn't have enough to send me, and I squandered away what I was supposed to be saving. So I joined the military. So yeah.
And you told me you were in the Army and you were an MP.
Yeah. You grow up quick, so you learn responsibility quick. But
now, was that Vietnam or was that after Vietnam?
Way after Vietnam. My dad was in Vietnam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Mine was Iraq.
Oh, okay. Oh, so did you serve in the Persian Gulf and all that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was stationed in Germany, and we actually, because it's most of Germany, the soldiers in Germany, the ones that went down, and then we had some from the States come over. So, but yeah, a lot of people don't know that Seventh Corps of Germany is the one that went down there.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So then, when you came back, what did you do? Well, you said you were an MP. Were you have any training from the military? What did you come back and what did you decide to do?
Well, I wanted to get into the military. I mean, get into the police department. So I signed up, and
okay,
it takes a while. Yeah, it takes a while. So, and then I went and got. Well, I'd gotten injured, so I got out, and wanted to join the police department. Waited for the testing because that takes like up to a year sometimes.
Oh, does really? Okay.
Oh yeah, and the pay was squat. So I ended up checking this automotive factory out. So I got on there while I waited, went through the ranks, man, and I was like the boss there. And
okay,
yeah, in the big automotive industry. And
nice.
then by the time the police department says, "Yeah, we'll take you," it's like a $20,000 pay cut, and I'm like,
wow,
man, I am not going to do this. So, but yeah, it was. Those were the good old tough days with 2 little kids, and it got tough.
Right.
So
now, how did you get in the reselling? Did you have a family member that was in the reselling? Or and when did you meet Kim? You met Kim after you got out of the service, obviously, right?
actually met her when I was in Iraq. She wrote me a
Met her
letter.
when you were in Iraq.
Yes, she wrote me a letter.
I see. That's why I like having these interviews. I mean, I know about you, but I don't know like these little intricacies. I didn't know that.
Dude, she was the cheerleader in high school, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I knew who she was.
Right.
But she'd never go out with me anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, dude, being down there with nothing. I mean, I don't know. It's just you're just there, and got this letter, man, and I'm like, oh, I know who she is, and she's like, giving her support and stuff. And
sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I wrote a letter saying, hey, you want to go on a road trip? I responded, you want to go on a road trip when I get home and just try. 6 months later, she sends I get the letter 3 months later, and she's like, yeah, I would love to. So she picked me up at the airport.
How about that? And the rest is history.
Rest is history. Yeah.
So how did you get involved in reselling then? How did you
we actually
got involved in it, or
we had to we did it out of necessity.
Okay.
Kim had grown up with her dad. He was hardcore negotiator. He
runs in the family.
Oh my gosh. That's how we learned about going into Lowe's. People don't know this stuff. You go into Lowe's, you go into Home Depot, any of these Walmart, you go out to the lawn furniture out, they've got stuff set up, and you're like, okay, this is the, people sat in this,
people sat in this.
all kinds you just throw it out there, and then you end up getting it at like 80% off. You talk them down, and you get the big rug that goes underneath thrown in. But you have to, the manager comes over. It's like, see this little thing. They don't like they want their displays perfection.
So you see like a little cut or a little stain or something.
Yeah, you're not going to worry about that on your back patio. It's just.
But you make it sound like it's very important, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a portion that's kind of like bullshit,
right?
But you use that because we're talking negotiations today. It's just a psychological game. That's what it is. So
do you try to build rapport from the beginning though? I mean, I know I used to do that when I used to go to yard sales when we had yard sales.
Oh, sure. And
it's a beautiful day, or it's a little chilly this morning. How you doing?
Oh yeah. You're always speaking and, being nice to people. Yeah.
Sure.
Always. That's key.
Oh yeah. So you're not just a stranger just happen to walk up and try to beat them up on price until you start to beat them up on the price.
Well, a lot of times they don't even know what just happened. It's not like they're conscious of, it's not like you put a spell on them, but you give it to them in such a way that they almost have to agree with you, So, okay. Yeah. So, it's.
So you learned from watching Kim's dad, basically, or you learned from watching Kim.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was our base. know, Kim never really did it. She just saw it.
Okay.
Growing up her whole life with her grandpa too. I mean, oh my
Grandpa was
gosh,
saying
these
Mike.
people.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, have you seen A Christmas Carol? You know, where he's
Yes.
going to get the Christmas tree. He's like,
Right.
you know, and I mean, it's a mind game. And but man, if people think they're doing well reselling and you don't negotiate, you can.
You're leaving a lot on the table.
Oh my God, dude, you have no idea. Yeah, yeah. But
well, you have a lot of fans. I just want to interrupt you 1 second. A lot of fans in the chat. Your thrifting lounge buddy is in the chat. He said, "That's my boy right here."
hey,
Right
what's
there.
going on, Kevin? Did I see Louis?
Who's Louis?
That bald dude.
Oh,
Louis the Seller. What's going on, Louis?
Okay.
Yes. Oh, thanks for the golden voice. Yeah. Good people. Good people. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, you were missed.
Hey, Clay. Yeah.
So why don't you touch a little bit again, since we're kind of transitioned, that I want you to touch a little bit about what Kim was up to. I know we were talking pre-chat about going back to school, and with you had your back issues and you had some other health issues. Why don't you just touch on that a little bit to catch people up?
Yeah. Kim was in school and she was doing this grind for years. And finally, I mean, right when she actually was doing her last class when this happened, and she immediately stopped but she's got one class, dude. One class to get this done, and that's all she's got. And it's whenever. She never really decided to go to school to get out and into the workforce full time. You know, she wants to help veterans. That's why she went into psychology and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's not going to be a full-time gig, because once you do something like that, you can pretty much work whenever you want. So, but yeah.
So what kind of position will she hold? Like working like for a counseling company or something, like as a counselor? Or?
Well, she'll probably be working for the military.
Okay.
Like the VA, you know, on base or something like that. Okay. Yeah, that's her actual goal, and she's already been offered some positions.
Oh, really?
With her degree already, so she's going to be. But yeah, it's just and just things got crazy with my illness. I got diagnosed with emphysema. It was all my fault. I smoked for 35, 40 years, and when people say you shouldn't do that, it's going to come back and bite you, it's true. So it's been about a year since we stepped away. I know people saw a change in our YouTube channel doing restorations, because I thought I was gonna die, you know, and so I'm gonna die doing what I want to do. So I started. I couldn't really do YouTube videos because it was so hard to breathe, and people could hear me breathing, and it was just
right.
So I didn't talk in my restoration videos. The big talker didn't talk.
Didn't talk. So, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and finally I decided because we've got the big test coming up that's going to show whether it's spreading or it's pretty much stopped, and you have to wait a year for that test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's coming up really soon, but I decided that, you know, it doesn't matter what it says. We're just going to do what we do and live it to the fullest. And dang it, I screwed up the past year, because I could have been doing this for a whole year, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah. Yeah. Hey, Angie. Hey, Mr. Sadie. What's going on,
Bubba.
guys? Hey, Clay. Nice to see everybody. See, can you hear the landscapers? I apologize.
That's okay. Yeah. Hi, Angie. Louis the Seller. There you go. Chad, you find it's easier to negotiate with someone for the first time or someone you've had a history with?
First time.
First time?
Absolutely the first time. Because if you continue to deal with somebody and you're, you know, I mean, you're going to have to probably pay a little bit better for somebody that you continue to deal with. So it really depends. And you have to make this decision. Is this somebody you're going to want to deal with, or is this a one-time thing? You know, all that is considered in like seconds in your head of how you're going to maneuver. And that's what it is. I mean, Kim and I, we call it an art, because there's
an art to it, definitely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Not a science, it's an art. I'm sure everybody does it a little differently too.
Sure. And everybody has their opinions about it. I mean, people called us abusers, take advantage of people, and I mean, just all kinds of things. But that's what that's capitalism, you know? Oh my goodness.
Allergies driving me crazy here for 1 second. Whew, bad in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Not just allergies, other things too. We
Yeah.
don't get into that.
But yeah, definitely it's easier. You can be more aggressive. And when I say aggressive, it doesn't mean that the person I'm buying from thinks I'm aggressive. It's just how I approach it.
Well, yeah. So,
You know?
did you want to did you want to do like what I talked about, the little play acting or something? Do you want to, or do you want to just talk about it?
Sure. We can do that. Of course, you got to remember whatever you have, I would have in my hand or I'm looking at it, and it's kind
you
of
would
hard
pick
to.
it up and you would kind of examine it.
Oh, you don't just examine it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me
So,
just grab this camera, and this is I won't tell you. I wouldn't tell you as a buyer, but it's a refurb and it's a Canon.
mhm.
I got it from Canon. This particular, you wouldn't know this, but this particular lens is $400. So let's just say, how would you approach me then? If you wanted
say you would have that for $600. You got it, like, say if you're on marketplace and you've got it for sale for $600, right? Okay, so before I even meet you,
right,
okay, because you can look at something and you can negotiate on Facebook or something like that, but on that camera, I would want to have it in hand looking before I even made an offer.
right.
Okay, so
how would you approach them and communicate?
You would say it's listed for $600. Okay, well, before I even talk to them, I look it up in good working condition and everything. I find out, okay, it's $1,200 camera,
right?
You know, or now let's say $800 camera. I can make $200 on it at the price that he's asking.
Right.
So, but you also got to consider all your fees, your PayPal fees,
Sure.
and everything else. So that $200, I'm not going to spend $600 to make $200. I'm just not going to do it. A lot of people would say, "Oh, that's easy money. It's easy money." Well, until this happens. Okay, so I send you a message saying, "Hey, nice camera. I'm looking for one. Is there any way we can meet to where I can actually have it in hand and just look it over?" And you would say yes, and now we're meeting. Okay, so you got the camera. Hold it up. Hold the camera up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at your dog. I'm impressed by what behavior your dog is.
Okay, so I'm looking at the camera, and I'm looking. It's a camera, and I know how to take the lens off. Push the little button, twist it, and I'm looking at the camera. I'm like, okay, looking inside, and if I have Kim, I'm like, hey, honey, can you give me your phone? Turn your light on your phone. So I'm looking like real meticulously inside the back part of the lens, right? So I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, I'll say, when was the last time this lens was serviced? Okay.
And I wouldn't even know you would service a lens. Is that you just made that up, right?
Just made it up.
Okay.
Just made it up. Okay.
I never heard of servicing a lens.
Yeah. So I'm looking, I'm like, has this lens been serviced? If so, how long ago? What's the history on this lens? Because a lot of times lenses are worth more than the camera. Okay.
This lens actually costs as much as the camera.
Yeah. So, you're looking, and I'm like, okay. They're like, I don't think it's ever been. Or they try to pull it was about a year ago, and once they do that,
they have no idea what they're talking about.
Absolutely. I'm like, I'm going to eat this person alive. Okay. Right. So, in this, where I'm talking and trying to explain this, it's not taking this long, because you never want to give them too much time. So it's always, okay, I'm looking at when's the last time this was lens. So I'm already grabbing the camera now. I'm looking where the lens connects inside the mirrors. Okay. Right. So I'm looking inside the mirrors.
That's besides the point.
Yeah. And I asked him for her phone, and, I'm looking in there. It's like, do you live in a basement, like a apartment or something that's like below the surface? It's just a dumbass question. You
Okay,
know,
you mentioned like, does someone in your house smoke or something, or
because they're thinking, because what I'm thinking is moisture. Okay.
okay?
Like if you live
So
below
you're
sea
planting to see
level,
that there could be moisture. Okay,
planting the seed. That doesn't mean I'm seeing any. I'm just asking them. You know,
right.
they're selling it to me, so I'm asking them the questions. Whether they're legitimate questions, they can say, "What do you mean? Is it in the basement?"
Right.
You know, I'm like, "Well, do you understand moisture? You know, mold, lenses, mold, all that stuff happens with moisture on cameras." So that's it. And see, you got to understand cameras to be able to negotiate for a camera to where
Sure.
they think that you know more about their item than they do. Okay.
Right.
So he has no idea about when this thing was serviced. Now the actual camera, I'm like, okay, have you had the camera in for servicing? Because these are pretty expensive cameras, and with the you take him in and get him serviced. Well, he'll be like, no, probably not. Then you'd be like, okay, what's the history of this? How long have you had it? Did you buy it brand new? Did you buy it, used off of somebody? And if they say, well, I bought it used off of somebody, it's like, oh man,
I mean,
okay.
oh man, you
Oh,
sigh.
then you're like, oh man, okay. You So we don't really know where this thing has been before you got it.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, it's just
Playing that seed of doubt.
and then you're looking at the camera, and then you're like, okay, oh, is it? Has this been dropped? I mean, it's not bad, but you just got to be, because these things are so fragile. And this is what I'm saying to them. They'd be like, yeah, they are fragile, yeah. And it's like, okay, do you happen to have the actual lens that came with it? Because if he bought the camera new, he's going to have that cheap ass lens that came with it, right? If they got a new $400 lens on it.
Right.
So all this is happening, and if he's like, yes, I have the lens. Typically, if you have a really expensive camera, you're going to have the box that it come in. You just do. On something that expensive, do you have your stuff for yours?
The instruction
Or did you buy
manual.
it used? Yeah. So you're asking, where's the strap? Do you have the actual strap, or you got an aftermarket strap that goes on there? I mean, you're just
Like
picking it away.
Right. Yeah.
And you're doing it away. They're not sitting there saying, okay, I'm just going to walk away, because you're being engaged with them, and you're not threatening them or anything. So
you're not attacking them personally. You're attacking what they're selling.
Yeah. And it's I'm creating doubt in their head.
Right.
Okay. So now we're like, okay, I see you're asking $600 for the camera, and well, that's a decent price. I'm afraid I'm going to have to do this, and this, and this, and this to it. Now, if you had service records, for it, and the lens was absolutely perfect on this lens, because if moisture gets in between these lenses, you're in trouble. You're going to be paying a lot of money to have it taken apart and the inside of the lens is clean, because the gaskets go out.
By the way,
have you ever seen the old 35 millimeter lenses? You look through them and like foggy, and you can wipe and clean as much as you can, but it's still in there because the gaskets and stuff and moisture gets in, and But yeah, all that, you're like, $600 is a good price for really, really good, because they come out at 800 or whatever.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, man, I may have to put a few $100 into this. And to be honest with you, you tell them either it's for somebody, or there's been times I said, I'm going to resell it. I'm going to need to make money on this, and I can't buy it at this price. I just can't.
So you don't hesitate to tell me you're a reseller. Then I know a lot of people avoid that.
It depends on the item. And it depends on how, if your negotiation isn't as strong as you want it to be, or you're not putting a doubt in them, they're pretty firm and stuff, then you flat out tell them, look, I need to resell this, and at this price, I just can't do it. They don't typically say, fine, and don't buy it, because you're in front of them with cash, and they want to sell the thing. So I'm like, yeah, I understand it's a nice camera and stuff, but I just can't make money. Or you've got a family member that is really looking for a camera, and you don't want to have to spend a bunch of money to get this thing serviced a week after you get it, because that's what I would say. It's like, I can't come back in a week and say, I want my money back. This is Facebook Marketplace, so I got to make sure I've got that cushion. If it tears up, and this is a very expensive camera. You want to give him or her like positivity about their item. It's like, yeah, it's a nice camera. You know, it's a really good quality.
I think your buddy wants to go out.
Yeah, it wants to go out. Sorry about that. But yeah, you're not telling them that they have a piece of trash. Okay,
Right.
it's
You're
what you're
just
doing is,
the condition, and they don't know like the history of where it's been or how it was handled or what's
yeah,
the
9 out
lens
of 10
service.
times,
Right.
and most of the time, if it's brand new, they'll say it, you know, they've got the box, you know, if a good seller. But
Right.
if they're, you know, but yeah, that's how it is. And then you finally it's coming down to the negotiation. You wanted 600 for, and I'm like, it's a nice camera. You had it listed for $600. What are you able to move at all on it? And you say,
Oh, I say,
yeah.
yeah, maybe I could do 550.
Whew. I think that's not going to leave me enough room because I've got way too much stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do with this camera. I mean, you want to see what I'm seeing in here, so you can see what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And I mean,
Let's see it.
you're just. I mean, it's like, do you see this? You don't even know what the hell you're looking at. Okay, so typically, and then it's just I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably looking at $200, and a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, nah, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that." And then I would say, "I'm telling you, if somebody that knows about cameras is going to come and buy it, they're not going to give you that price. They're just not. That's why you haven't sold it yet. That's why I'm standing here in front
You
of you."
literally offer them 1/3 of what they're asking.
Oh, absolutely,
Wow.
or less,
I'd be
or
embarrassed.
less.
I personally, I'd be embarrassed. I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying I personally would be embarrassed to do that. But I'm sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because I guess it's not a. When you say you would be embarrassed to do it, are you don't want to insult them,
Yeah.
or okay? And you can say, you know, I am not trying to insult
Trying to
you,
insult
but
you. Okay.
yeah, oh yeah, you can
Does
say
that
that.
soften the blow?
Yeah, it does. It really does. I'm like, I'm really not trying to insult you. It is a nice camera, but I'm looking about $200 because if you think about it, if I do have to take this lens in, if I do have to take this body in, we're looking at $400 easy, just in repairs on this very nice, expensive camera. And then I'll say, you know, how many local shops are there for camera? I'm going to have to mail this off, pay the insurance just to send it to somebody to get it serviced. I mean, so you come up with all these things that you're going to have to do. And the next thing you know, if I pay $200 for it, I'm still in it for $600. And you know, so it's just not going
That's
to
what
work for
you're
me.
gonna have to
Yeah.
spend $300-400, and yeah.
And then I'm going to say, and the next person that knows anything about cameras is going to tell you the same thing. It's nice. And I say, do you mind telling me what you paid for it? Oh, $900. I'm like, yeah. Cameras, they go down quick. As soon as something new comes out, they just plummet. And that's just the unfortunate thing about cameras. And I mean, it's just, and then finally, and they're like, I get it. You were at 550, man. I'm going to get that thing for $300
Really.
if it's worth 900. Yeah. Yep.
So you would say, just as a rule of thumb, offer them what 1/3 they're asking.
It really depends on the item.
Okay.
And because you have to know eBay, you've got to understand how things sell. And before I even go to them, I look the camera up. Okay, I see what the sell-through rate is on them, so I know if it's going to be quick within a couple days. I can get this for 200, and they're selling for 900. I can put it at 800, and it'll sell by tomorrow.
Right.
That's where that quick flip comes in with me, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're leaving money on the table." It's like, dude, I just made $600, you know, or $700. I'm not leaving any money on the table. So, but yeah, that's why my stuff gets put on. It gets sold that day, and then literally the next day, I spent 300, and I got 600. So, or 700, whatever it is. But yeah, that's, I mean, in a nutshell, but every item has its own, you have to go into it in a way that it's just different. There's a broad base, but you have to understand there's certain things you have to do. You have to be able to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be confident. Um, and you have to be confident even if you don't know. Okay. So
You have to fake it till you make it.
kinda. And a lot of people really look down on that.
Right.
But it's not so much because hey, you're the one, nobody's holding a gun to your head, you know?
True.
Nobody, I mean, really, nobody's holding a gun to your head. And if it's such a great item, then it should be sold by now, you know? Why am I standing here talking to you? How come somebody else hasn't bought it yet? And sometimes that's how it ends up going if they get crappy or something, you know? I'm still nice about it, but I'm like, hey, no problem. I appreciate it. My offer stands. And then
You'll walk away at that 300, and then you'll walk away.
oh yeah, because I can get the feel of somebody
Mm-hmm.
that if we're $150 off, I'm not going to come up $75. I'm
Right.
not going to do it. I will walk away. And many times I don't even make it to the car. Sometimes, you know, I get a message,
Oh,
or
really?
sometimes, oh yeah, dude,
As you're walking the car, wait a minute.
dude, it's happened.
Really?
On an item. It was a $500 item. It was one of them pool, or no, it was a $1,500 item. It was one of them underwater pool robots, you know, that cleans the bottom of pools.
Sure, clean. Yep.
$1,500 item. We offered him $500, right? And
1/3 again.
I offered him $500. They had it for sale for $1,100. So you could buy it and make $300. I'm not going to spend the $1,100 to make $300.
That's a lot of money, then. But yeah.
Offered him $500, and this is so true. I kept the chat. It's somewhere. Offered him that, and well, we appreciate our offer stands, you know. And no, we didn't say the offer stands. We says if you decide you want to sell it, get a hold of us, and you know we'll talk again. They're like, okay, dude. A month and a half later, they
they still hadn't sold it.
They hadn't sold it, and they got us sent a message. And they says, hey, does your $500 offer still stand? It's like, ooh, times are pretty tough right now. All we can round up probably is about $350. And at that time, if they're reaching out to us after a month and a half or something like that, then they want some money for this damn thing.
Sure.
So we ended up selling. I think we came up a little bit. I don't even think it was 400, but yeah, we ended up getting it, sold it for like $1,200, $1,300, something like that.
Quick flip.
So, oh yeah, always. It's the cheap stuff that we get that sits in my store forever, you know. But the good money stuff, it flies off the shelf because so many people are saying, "How in the hell are you selling this stuff so cheap?" It's like, dude, your profit is made at the time of purchase. Not when you sell it.
Okay. Yep. Maybe it's that. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, man, you can't realize after you buy it that, ooh, this was not a good deal. Because you were that guy that just said, what the hell just happened? You're that person that we make you feel like,
right.
What just happened?
Right.
You know?
How much are they selling for?
You know, and it's totally different if we're selling something. See, as experienced negotiators and experienced sellers,
right,
we know what we're selling. And if somebody tries to call bullshit or say or throws one of these curves like they know more about it than I do, oh yeah, I'll shut that down so quick and I'll start pulling shit out of my ass. I mean, it's just, and I done it. I ended up dealing with somebody just like us. You just butt heads and you typically become friends, you know, and then you end up selling stuff to each other. That's how you meet out in the wild other resellers, you know, or other people who do what you do. And then it's a good relationship because you end up working together on a lot of things. If it's something that I wouldn't be interested in, I'd give him a holler and send him, and he would do the same for me or she, and you got 15, 20, 30 people doing the same thing, that's how word of mouth gets around. So, but yeah, so basically you're relying on the seller being naive, desperate, or stupid. No, that's what a lot of people assume.
Right.
But if you have an item that you want to sell and you just pull a number out of the sky of how much you want for this item, it's not my fault that you don't know. I'm not here to educate you on what you have and how much it's worth. Okay. Uh, and it's not if you run into a professional, it's not like you say, oh, you're bullshitting, because somebody says, do they know you're BSing? It's not like that. It's just you both realize it happens pretty quick, by the way. You both realize you're dealing with
A professional.
a professional. And
Do you see Louis' comment on the screen there?
how about actually pulling out the cash money and showing it to the seller to help persuade them to agree to the price? You got to be careful. If that's your final offer, then you show them the cash. You tell the people, I've got cash in hand, I'm ready to buy. Let's do this. I'm excited to see your item. Hey, so you're being positive. You're always positive. And finally, your final item, because you have in your mind how much it's going to be. You got it. I know Louis knows this. You got that in one pocket, and you got more money in the other pocket. So you pull it out. It's like, this is what I was thinking. This is what I got. This is $300. I'd love to take that home. And you always say, if you're getting it cheap, I'm willing to take a chance that it's not going to crap out on me. You're always saying that. I think it's at $300. It's worth taking the chance on the item. Always. So
Okay.
whatever it is, like you have that purse. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I would eat that purse alive,
Now
man.
let's try that one then.
You don't know how many people try to say, "Oh, we got this at the store," because if they bought that at the store, they're going to have all the paperwork. They're
Oh
going to
yeah.
have everything with it. Everything. I want you, little lady. Okay. Ooh, that weather looks a little used. You can see the rub spots. See how it's dark on the handles there. So you got that thing, and I'll get it, and because I can see at the very top on the corner that stitching is pulled
Mm-hmm.
up on the right on the corner. And what is that? One of them Doonies or Loonies or
Loonies are loonies.
but yeah, that purse, I'd look at it, and something like that, I would have Kim there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because for a guy to say, hey, I'm an expert, it just
Right.
doesn't go as well as if there's a lady, then Kim will initially look at it. She'd be really interested in it.
Some freight stitching or something,
Yeah.
or
Oh, and you're looking for wear, because with
right.
purses and
Right.
leather, you're always looking for wear. How much is it used? How old is it? The discoloring on the leather, the stitching on the
Right.
leather. Um,
Any scuffing or anything on the bottom or
on the in, oh, you eat the
on the
inside up.
inside too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you always eat the inside up, because the inside is always got, I don't
Oh
know,
sure.
pin marks or some makeup stains or whatever. But you're not gonna and if it's perfect, and that zipper looks rough, man.
Zipper looks rough, man.
Not on the very top corner. Look on that very corner. See how the zipper's discolored? How
Wow.
old is that? How old is that?
How old is that?
Yeah, the zipper looks really discolored on that.
Nobody asked you how much I paid for it.
No, oh, that'll come, because we haven't even remotely
Oh
started
really?
talking about price. Yeah, we're in the process of picking the thing apart respectfully,
Right.
and you're asking questions. Do you have the paperwork with it? Do you have the actual authentication certificate for this particular purse that's numbered, that should be, also numbered in that purse?
Right.
So you're looking, and they're like, well, I don't have that anymore. And right there, then we have to make sure that we have to verify its authenticity. Is this thing real or not? And that's up Kim's. That's where knowledge comes in, because you cannot believe anything a seller says to you. You have to verify everything for yourself, because it's always the buyer that's a bad guy. It's never the seller that sells fake, cheap, so that's where it comes in. It's an equal playing field, man. And but yeah, Kim's gonna look at it, and she a lot so many times she has said it's a really nice looking purse, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to purchase it. And so you're nice about it, and then she goes, it's fake. You know, we'll go to the car and say it's fake, and negotiation's done. We're not even gonna pay $1 for it because I'm not even gonna mess with a fake purse. Just like I'm not gonna mess with a fake pair of shoes. I don't care if they're 50 cents. I'm not buying them. So, but yeah,
Well, that's
so
something I didn't know until a year or two ago when I got into reselling. They actually have clothing and purses and those type of things, luggage that are made specifically for the outlets. They're not full quality.
oh yeah,
Like you said,
they're
you put a
flawed.
serial number is a way to tell if it's an outlet piece or not.
Yeah, they're flawed. They're flawed. And most
I mean, some of
really
them are
expensive
made
purses.
for the outlet. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
specific item is not available on the regular website. It's made specifically to sell at the outlet.
yeah. So you actually have to know on something like purses. I've got a little bit of knowledge, but Kim is the really. I could probably pick something, but as far as fully authenticating like a purse or something, that's over me. That's like something she would do.
No, I'd be hesitant to pick up a Versace or a Fendi or anything like that. I just wouldn't.
But I do know what to look for to make sure something's real, and that's the quote, because the fake ones, they could be really really good,
I'd
but
be really good. Yeah.
depending on the purse, like some of the latches might just be a little bit different, or they're connected to the leather in a different
Right.
way than what the real company does.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it goes. No, you can't come in here.
Here he comes.
The kids, I can hear the kids in the background crying, and they're probably stressing him out.
Uh,
You coming in or out? Sorry about that.
He says, it's too noisy out here, Papa.
Boy, he can push that door open. I have it locked, and I don't know how he does it. So,
They got big heads.
oh, and oh yeah, the kids can just now they can. So, but yeah, I mean, it's always it's a I I'm we're not I'm not trying to teach people to be bad people or have no morals or anything like that, because it's not about that. Okay, it's
Right.
it's a level playing field. If somebody has something for sale and you're there to buy it, a lot of times I'll look at it and I'll say, are you able to move any off this price? So I mean, I'm putting the ball in their court. I'm letting them know I'm looking to get it cheaper. They can
Well,
say, no, I'm done, and walk away. No, I'm firm on my price. And it's happened. I mean, so,
that's funny because you watch these TV shows,
oh, dude.
they tell you never give the first price. Always let the person give you the price that they want.
Yeah, I mean, and on the TV, guys, it does not happen. Somebody doesn't have an item that they want $50 for it, and then some good guy comes in and is like, "Ooh, very nice item. How much you got on it? $50? Oh no, we're gonna give you $200 and we're gonna sell it for 230. Cha-ching, $30.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way, guys. It does. You can be a generous person. You will go doing that. You'll go out of business.
Right.
And if you're, and we're gonna back up a little bit because so many people are really intimidated about talking to people. It's that gift of gab, I guess. And that's what so many people have come and told us. It's like, I'm too nervous to talk to people, or I'm too nervous to even, it's like you have to take baby steps. You go to the gas station, you grab your soda or something, talk to the person in front of you, talk to the cashier.
Right.
If you're standing in line, waiting 6 foot apart, you're sitting there waiting, turn around and look at the guy. It's like, boy, is this stuff going to be over or what? Talk to people. That is the easiest way to get over this phobia of being afraid to negotiate. And what's going to happen is once you get relaxed talking to strangers, because that's what this game is about. I mean, if if unless you're buying stuff online and you get shipped to you, you're out there beating the street and meeting people, and you know, it's like, oh, we're here to look at your barn. Okay, so they go at the barn. You don't develop any rapport, you know, with the person, and you just go in and it's all cut and dry. They're not going to work with you. They're not going to think, oh, you're a good guy. I mean, you could go up to somebody at a garage sale. Oh, this is one of the things I caught so much flack for. You go to a garage sale, right? Before you even look at anything, you go all the way to the back where the person's sitting, okay? And you start. That's what I do. Go all the way to the back where the person's sitting, and you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And if they have a dog, oh, good.
Let me interrupt you for
Oh,
1 second. I'm going to put you on the
oh,
main street.
the
Put you
huh?
on the main street because I got a tickler. I got a cough with my allergies.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll
Yeah,
put you on
no
the main
problem.
street. You continue.
Yeah. No, it's just so funny because oh, they have a dog. So it's like, oh, beautiful dog. I've got a beautiful dog. Check this out. So I'm showing her pictures of my dog, Cooper, the golden retriever, and all that stuff. And it is a big icebreaker. And I guarantee if you have a rapport with the person that's sitting there and it took 10 seconds, 15 seconds to talk to this person. And that's all it took. Then you start looking at the stuff and you're like, hey, do you do, as you're starting on the very first table, you're still only 4 feet from them. Hey, do you do bundles? Just like, have you had a good sale so far? And they're like, they'll always say, yeah. Oh, it's been great, but their tables are full. And so that's what it is. And you're always talking to them. You have this rapport with them, not these other 50 people that are walking around. So we're buddies now. Me and that lady or me and that guy, we're buddies now. We've got things in common, and subconsciously they are sitting here thinking they're a good guy. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, okay. The landscaper guy has to talk to me right now. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. You're going to have to talk for about 5 minutes. Are you good? You're muted.
Yeah, I'll collect some questions for you while you're talking to the
Okay,
landscaper.
I apologize.
That's right.
We got him here, and I don't know. So,
Make sure he doesn't beat
alrighty.
you up on the price.
Oh no, no, that wasn't negotiated before they even started.
All
All
right.
right,
I'll
man.
see you a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, guys. You know what? That would give me a good opportunity because my last video when I had Joy on, I told you guys probably a lot of you are here because of Chad, and hopefully if you're new to my channel or if you're not new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, you will subscribe. Like I said, I try to reach out to various resellers. I do a lot of networking. I was in sales, so I network and I know a lot of the top resellers. I try to bring them on and interview them every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern to discuss, what they do, how they do it, and try to help us be better sellers. So my last video actually had a little bit different person on. She's a business owner and she's a motivational speaker and an author, and a really neat person. And she was really uplifting. So I said I ran a little contest, and I said if you comment in the once the video uploads later, you'll be eligible to win one of her books. So let me do that now while Chad's away talking to the landscaper. Let me pull that up, guys. I'm going to do a screen share here. And we'll do that. All right. I just got to go to, let me see real fast. Do this. Okay. If you ever do this, if you have a YouTube channel, it really works out well. So let me see here. We'll do this. Okay. So you should be able to see this. The only thing is I can't see this because I don't have my my phone up, but I should be working fine. So what it is, this is a random comment picker. I'd ask people just to comment. They could say whatever they wanted. I didn't have a specific response required. So then you just copy and paste the particular video in here. And I'm going to pull the comments. Okay. Continue to download. Okay. And then we will do a start the raffle and pick a random winner. So good luck to people that commented, and we'll see who wins the book from Miss Joy, Be the Difference Clothing, LLC. Okay. The winner was Linda Verud. I know Linda very well. She's in a lot of chats, a lot of the auction chats. So I'll reach out to her and I'll make sure that get her information, and she will get the book from Joy. So that filled a little bit of time while Chad was away. So let me just turn that off, guys. All right. Still waiting for Mr. Chad. Okay, let me pull up because my chat jammed up. Okay. All right. Michelle, I always forget to thank, not always forget you, but I wanted to make sure I thanked you for being here. I always appreciate you being here and helping me moderate the chat. Did you guys have any questions for Chad? I can write a few questions down while I was away. If you can just do me a favor, put a Q in front of the question or put question marks after the question. Makes it easier for me to spot them. And Michelle was helping me spot the questions. Did you have any specific questions for Chad? It could be general questions too. I wanted to just touch on a couple things, personal things, because like I said, he was away for about a year. I wanted to just touch base with Chad and reach out to him. But he's going to actually do a whole series on negotiating. So I wanted to make sure I was able to ask Chad about the printer story. Okay, we'll do that. And that was from the Thrifting Lounge. Okay. Ask Chad about the printer story. Okay. I guess Nikki knows what that is. She put LOL. Chad was the old lady that got the printer copy machine from the best negotiator you ever met. Okay. All right, I'll have to ask them. So you guys all know that story. Okay. I'll ask him to tell that story. Did you guys have any questions about negotiating for Chad while he's here? Papa knows what's up. Thanks for being here, Nikki. And guys, a lot of you guys, I know of you. I know you from the various chats. But again, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel if you would, please. Like I said, I have a lot of great information, and myself in particular, I go back sometimes. I'll just replay different, I'll just, even if I'm just laying in bed or something at night, I'll just play it and I'll listen to it. And there's a lot of nuggets, different various resellers. I mean, some high ends. I've had Wade's Ventures on. I've had Casey the Rockstar Flipper. Obviously Chad. I've had a lot of different. I have jewelry sellers on. A lot of good information. So, and I try to mix it up a little bit. I am reaching out for new people that I can interview. So if you guys have any interest in joining me for an interview, just reach out to me. The information is in my description below the video, along with Chad's information. If you just reach out to me at adamsexploits@gmail.com. Again, I'm always looking for new people to interview. So Mr. Chad is back.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
He was trying to find where the sprinkler zones were and how they're. It's all good.
Okay. The only question that came up, they want you to tell your printer story. They said you have a printer story.
Goodness.
let me put you on the main screen here. Like 3 different people know this story.
Yeah, a lot of people know this story. Not one of my finest moments.
Okay.
To make a long story short, we bought one of these big, huge industrial size printers with a big printer screen. Everything's digital, and it's like 40 something grand, brand new, right? This place had it. I paid $100 for it. We paid like $50 to get it to our house hauled there. It's so big. And I finally got it all tested and running, and this thing was like good. And I'm like, okay, listing it for like $35,000 or $4,000, $3,500 or $4,000. Well, we get a message from this little old lady, and she would like to come and look at it. She's about 85, and so she shows up to the house with the big moving truck, and this is so embarrassing. Kim was inside the house. She never came out, and so they're looking at it, and she's like, "Okay, we'll take it. Oh, we really like it. We have a shop there in Panama City, a print shop, and they're needing another printer because they got some big jobs coming up." So, okay, sounds good, and so she says, okay, go ahead and load it up. So these two dudes start loading it up onto this big moving truck. And I'm like, okay, because she was fine with the $4,000, I think. And she goes, okay, here's the $100 down payment, and I'll make payments every month of like $500 a month until it's paid off, something like that. And I'm thinking, oh shit, this is a little old lady. I mean, if she's got a business, it can't be that bad. So I made a contract and said, I mean, it was a legit contract, and so I got the $100 cash, which I don't even know what I was thinking because I know better than this.
Right.
But I just had this. You can't underestimate anybody, anybody. And so month comes and she calls us. She's like, "Did you get the check?" She's like, "No, we haven't got the check yet." Okay, I'll make sure there's. And all of a sudden, we're calling her. It's like, "Where's the check?" And the next month comes by. We're like, "Where's the check? We still haven't got the check." Then she changes her phone number. Literally changes her phone number. And then finally, it's like, I realized, man, I screwed up. Yeah, the good old checks in the mail thing. Yes. I realized that I
I vaguely
screwed up.
remember this story now. You refresh my memory. Yeah.
And Kim was like, I cannot believe you did that. And I'm like, I know. She goes, you do know that never would have happened if I was out there. I'm like, I know. I know. And so we ended up, it's like, well, what do you do when you have a contract and they haven't paid? You sue them.
Sure.
But that's what we were doing. So to start it, we we filed for her information, her legal information and stuff like that, and found out that she was getting sued by so many people, businesses, companies, city. The city was suing her.
Oh, jeez.
And we're like, oh my gosh, we're screwed. Okay, we're just
Get in line, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I wasn't going to spend the money, and I'm not. No, I'll just take it as a loss. Because I used to say, I got my $100 back I got for it, but I always left out the $50 it cost to ship it to my house. So I'm minus $50 on that deal.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's so
It happens,
disappointing.
Well, that's an expected lesson to learn, though.
Yeah, yeah, yep. But yeah, sold a printer to a mean old lady. Oh, she was such the nicest old lady. Oh, what did somebody post in here before Sadie's? Or was it Sadie? Chad's going to shorten it.
I want to love to see Chad on Judge Judy.
Oh, man. Judge Judy would have ate her alive. Somebody was saying, somebody asked, what would you do if you come across somebody selling something they have it way undervalued? Okay. Once again, here we go. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna give you, so much more. And Kim and I have a video coming out where this exact what you asked happened. Okay. Mm-hmm. Some people may say you guys are horrible people. You took advantage because you knew more about that item than he did. Okay. If you're selling, it's your responsibility to know what you're selling.
Do your research.
Okay. That's a life lesson, It's like you got to figure out how much you're going to ask for this dumb thing. And if they're happy with I'm probably, we didn't beat them down at all. We didn't negotiate. There's many times. There's many times. Yeah, there's many times that I will pay what the person's asking. Okay, many times because I'm going to make so much money on it. I'm not even going to beat this person down.
Right.
But rarely do we say it's worth a lot more than that. I'm going to give you a lot more for it.
Right.
Rarely. Because that's our livelihood. Okay. Sure. I mean, you don't go into a car dealership and say, oh, that car is worth a lot more money than what you're asking for because it's on sale or
Let me give
whatever.
you an
I'm going
extra
to pay more money.
$1,000.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. So what
Right.
makes us bad for doing the exact same thing that you do? You don't go into a, a, a meat aisle at the store and say, "Oh man, that roast is worth a lot more than what you got on it." You got the red tag saying you're selling it for $2 and it's a $12 roast. Here, let me give you some more for it. No, you're going to pay what they're asking,
Nope.
the
Sure.
$2. So that's typically when and I'm only saying this because a lot of people come at us for the way we do things.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
but
Well,
they
haters going to
come,
hate.
they're
Yeah.
just going to they're hypocrites because they do the exact same thing. Exact same thing. You don't go into a thrift store because not all thrift stores know what they put on the shelves. They price it and whatever. You don't go to a thrift store and say, "Oh, this is worth a lot more. Let me pay you some more money." No, you pay it. You pay that $2 and come home and make a YouTube video and say, "Dude, I got this $1,000 item for $2." That's what you do. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the reality of it. Um, it's not our job, and I don't know. We've all been through hard times. Okay, and we've
Well,
all
like you said,
sold
this
stuff.
is your job. I mean, Kim and you.
Yeah,
I mean, that's your livelihood. That's how you put food on the table and take care of the grandkids and pay your bills.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I sold my Selena collection because times were tough
Did you sell
financially.
your Selena collection? Okay.
I sold literally all of it,
Wow.
you know. But it's not like people said, "Oh, well, you're selling this, so let me pay you double for it because you're having a hard time." It's no, I sold it. I put a price on it for what I wanted for it, and I
Right.
got the money I wanted for it. It just doesn't. TV makes it look like that's the thing to do. And if you're the type of person it's like, man, I can't do that, then this game's not for you. Keep paying full price for everything and be happy with your sales. All I'm saying is they could be double, triple, 10 times better,
Sure.
if you do it this way.
There was a comment about from Louis there on the screen. They say it.
From Louis. Oh,
What if your very first offer seriously angered the seller? Would you continue to negotiate or just walk away?
um, it has happened. Uh, they're like, oh no, are you serious? You know, I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to offend you, but tell me why it's worth what you're asking. I mean, what? Because I told you why it's worth what my offer was. Okay, and then now the ball's in his court.
Right.
He has to he has to convince me why I should pay more for it. Instead of me convince him why he needs to pay less. So now the burden's on him. You always want to turn something like that around to where they have to justify because it was on me to justify why I can only pay this amount.
Right.
I did my job. It pissed him off. Okay. So now the burden's on him.
You're too good at your job.
The burden is on him now to convince me why it should be more on his end of what he wants to sell it for.
Right.
Okay. So, and that's really how it happens. That's where the psychology, what you did is you just pulled a reverse on him. Okay. When he's upset, then you just turn it back on him. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult you, but I told you why. This is why I'm able to pay this amount.
Right.
You tell me why I should pay your amount.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to, this is where
Put the ball in their court. Let them justify the price. Right.
yeah, this is where you stare at each other,
Stare him
and,
down.
oh yeah. And because most of the time, that person that's selling it is that person in our chat that says that they have a really hard time, dealing with people, they
Sure.
haven't
Sure.
really come out of their shell and stuff. I'm going to say 90% of people are that way. The way we are, if you're just out in public, you don't see somebody you
Randomly starting
typically
conversation. Yeah.
you don't give somebody a compliment. You're like,
Right.
you just don't see it in today's society. It's all, and that is a skill that will pay for itself over and over. If you can come out of your shell and, you know, you don't compliment women like, oh, you're hot,
No,
never
no,
anything
no,
like
we don't
that.
want to do that.
Oh, Kim, she'll see a lady's shoes and she'll say, oh, I love your shoes. And so it's always, and it's just in passing. We're not trying to buy anything off that person. It's just getting out of your shell and you need to talk to people. And that that lady left feeling good that somebody complimented her on her shoes. So um, be nice to somebody because boy, you're going to eat somebody up alive in about a half an hour. Chew them up and spit them out. So, but yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
Nikki does. She says her husband hates when she starts negotiating. He told me I'm too cutthroat. It's embarrassing him.
and some people are embarrassed by it, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you could be embarrassed by it and pay full price for stuff, or you can keep some money in your pocket and uh, make a bigger profit when you sell the item. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Um, some people just have an issue with it. And it bothers us because we're not bad people. When people say that, we're not bad people. This is the
It's your
business that we're
livelihood.
in.
Yeah, it's your business.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, a car salesman, you go to a Ferrari dealership and a car salesman, Ferrari, I mean, high quality stuff, they're trying to sell, they're trying to get that money from you. You list on eBay, unless you're the cheapest price out there, are you taking advantage of people because you're pricing higher? If you sell on Amazon, because everybody knows price, you get better money on Amazon. I mean, is it? They're like all over that. That's what we do.
Right.
It's not taking advantage of people. It's being a smart business person, being able to make those deals to where you can sell it. And that's what it is. I don't know why people can't distinct that.
Right. See Louis' comment there?
I don't picture Angie being a cutthroat. Angie is the sweetest lady, but I guarantee she can negotiate some.
Well, right. Well, he
And you
has.
can negotiate and be nice. I'm not saying that we're mean to people. It's always a 90% of our transactions, even if we get the stuff a lot cheaper, we're smiling, they're smiling. It's a good experience. So yeah. Have you ever sent Kim to negotiate and use your beauty or, oh, dude, I've sent her. I'm like, you take this. If, oh, it's many times, especially if it's a woman.
All right.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes.
But she compliments her shoes.
Oh, because sometimes, believe it or not, and Angie, she goes out and does this stuff. Women can be a lot more aggressive sellers than men. And oh yes, so that's Logan. But yeah, I guarantee Angie will say, "Oh yeah, yeah." A lot of women are much more aggressive sellers than men. Men are. So, but Kim knows how to deal with that. Oh, yeah. Kim knows how to deal with that.
Glenn says she's an attack dog. Let her go.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes.
Just want to touch. I know we're pushing a little bit about an hour. I try to keep it around an hour, and
Yeah.
I'd asked her any questions. And guys, have any last minute questions for Chad? I just want to touch base with your grandson that had the problems with his feet. How has that been resolved?
Well, since he was 12 days old, he's been in casts and had
Right.
surgeries, and it was a continuous thing. And then he developed a reaction to the castings, and it was eating his legs up.
Oof.
So we were pretty much depending on because what would happen is you would have the surgery, they cut your tendon, then
Right.
they put you in casts, and then once you're out of the casts, then you have to wear the shoes with the bar in
Right.
between
Right.
to keep your feet. Well, what had happened is weren't able to use all the castings. So we were keeping him in his shoes, but his feet are turning back in. And finally,
Oh,
we found a super world renowned specialist up in Maine that's
okay.
got a whole different way of addressing this stuff.
Okay. Good.
So, yeah, so we got accepted to him. And after this quarantine stuff's over, Kim and
Okay.
Katie's going to take him up there for about 4 days. They fit him waist down. They mold him and everything, and it's a special contraption that is supposed to be the best thing in the world to
No,
fix
okay, good.
this. So,
Good.
but right now his feet are like turned in and on the side, but it doesn't slow him down. I mean,
Right.
I've never seen a kid run like on their side of his feet.
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't know any better. It's not like
Yeah, it's true.
he thinks that's just how he walks, you know. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, but yeah, it's not slowing him down at one bit.
Okay, guys. I guess there were no other questions in the chat. Oh, by the way, I used that random comment picker. It worked fine, Chad. So I'll send you that link.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you guys,
Yeah. Did you want to say anything, promote anything, or talk about your YouTube channel? Where you're going? Whatever you want to do.
yeah, we had a over your YouTube channel, Golden Finger Picker. I see a lot of friendly faces in the chat, but if you haven't ever checked it out, check it out. Kim and I talk a lot about things that we do, and we had a contest put out. All you have to do is go to the channel. If you're not subscribed, just subscribe it, give us a like, and leave a comment saying what your first best score was.
I forgot to ask you, by the way. I was going to ask you that too. What was your best?
My first, dude, I can't even remember my first one. I think it was
your best. Do you remember your best? Like,
my best one is on one item.
Well, I know you did very well with the pilot, but I mean, just one particular.
Yeah, item. The Beatles album is definitely the best, and we got 32,500 for it.
32,500.
Yep, for a Beatles album, and then the Pilot's Estate, we did probably 20 to 30,000 on that. So,
wow,
yeah, great, best estate we'd ever had, ever bought, and we bought a lot.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to ask you too with the estate sales. Do you try to negotiate with them, or do you negotiate early because they say don't come back at the end because everything's picked through?
Well, a good thing about estate sales, especially companies that do them, when you go there and you get to know them and stuff like that, you absolutely, and I'm telling you guys now, this is where the talking comes in.
Yeah,
you make sure they recognize you. Sure. Okay, even if they don't. Say you went to their estate last week, estate sale. Okay, and you're looking for stuff. And no, I mean really.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing the estate sale circuit, you want to hit these estate sales in your town. The people who are putting them on are companies. Mostly are companies.
True.
So the people that are running the estate sale are these companies. So you're like, hey, hit your last one last week at the other place, and they're like, oh yeah, did you get any good thing from it? Like, yeah, we got this, that, or whatever. You're having this face-to-face conversation. Sure. They're not face down, just taking your money.
You're building a relationship before you
get into it. Absolutely. So after a few of them, when you come through that door, they see you. They're like, hey, I know you. Yeah. Then you've got this relationship with them, the same relationship that somebody else has with them, that when they see him, it's like, hey, I saw that thing in the back, man. You going to work with me on it? That's when you could talk to them like that. Don't just come up to somebody that you don't know and say, hey, I got that thing in the back. Can you work with me?
Right.
No, you could do that after you're friendly with them and they recognize you. Then you could do that. And once you do that, because estate sales work first day, full price. Second day, 80%. Third day, it ends up being like half off. So that's how it typically works. And if you don't know any better, that's how it works. If you have a relationship with them, yeah, you'll get that 50% off on the first day. So, or you can get a better price than that.
Right.
So yeah, because it's their job to sell the person's stuff. It's not their stuff they're selling. And if they think that that's a good deal, that you're going to come back into their stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
You see Jason's comment about the estate. Did you save anything or did you sell everything?
There is, I just found some more of his paperwork and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah. And some books. I've got a big pile of Boy Scout books because he was a troop in the 60s.
Leader.
Troop leader, so he's got a bunch of these Boy Scout books, but yeah, we still have some little things here and there, but yeah, most of the stuff is gone.
Right.
Most of the stuff is gone.
Okay, but so basically, so guys, Michelle put the link to Chad's channel in the chat there, guys. So
well, thank you.
You're interested, like I said, all his contact information, his YouTube channel, all is in the description below. Again, I want to thank Chad. Been following Chad for a long, long period of time. It's really a pleasure to have him on, and hopefully we can do it sometime in the future again. And really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it, and I appreciate all you guys coming out and supporting Chad and being here. Just consider checking my other videos out and coming back and looking at the other videos. Again, I'll give you the typical YouTube thing. Please, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share on your social media network. And I'd appreciate it, guys. All right,
hey guys, so I will be working on my audio issues and stuff. I've been gone a year. I'm trying to get this stuff right.
He's got his gaming headset on.
Oh, this is my gaming headset. So yeah, I'm working on it. Be patient with me, and Kim and I will be back full blast. Thank you. Love you.
Thanks, the guy. We'll see you guys, next Wednesday.
Great.